Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with JediInsider.com, your #1 news source for everything Star Wars. And for today's review, we're going to take a look at the new Star Wars The Force Awakens 3¼ inch Rey and Resistance outfit figure from Hasbro. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style of packaging we see with all of Hasbro's Force Awakens products. You've got the Kylo Ren head up at the top in the corner with the ignited lightsaber, the Force Awakens logo, and then some artwork for the character off to the side with the figure clearly displayed on the card back. On the back, we have a brief bio in multiple languages, a look at the other figures in the wave, which includes Force Awakens Han Solo and the Hoth Thug. And then it also shows us these figures have the build-a-weapon feature, and when you have all three figures in the wave, you create this strange kind of weapon, and it shows you how to put that together. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging. Now this figure has created quite an internet stir a couple times now. The first time was when it was released early at Walmart stores, and because it had a minor spoiler with the lightsaber, Disney lawyers apparently got very upset. The figure got pulled back, and prices on eBay for the few that did get out there skyrocketed. So I saw the figure go for like $200, which frankly is ridiculous. But anyway, the second time was with the whole Where's Rey thing, where people were claiming Hasbro wasn't making Rey figures. Of course, they had already made Rey figures and were doing more, but people, because this was announced about that time, thought that this was in response to that, and of course that's not the case. It takes much longer than a couple weeks to make an action figure, and this thing was planned all along. But anyway, the figure is out now, and this is Rey in her Resistance outfit, which we only see for like 5 minutes in the movie. To me, the best thing about the figure is the accessories that it come with the lightsaber and the blaster. So the lightsaber she comes with is Luke's original lightsaber that we last saw at the end of Empire Strikes Back. Now how it ends up from where we saw it in Empire Strikes Back, which I assume after Luke got his hand cut off and it fell down the shaft, it ended up falling out the tube just like Luke did, and probably ended up on the surface of Bespin somewhere. So how it ended up there to where we see it in Force Awakens will be an interesting story. Anyway, we've seen Hasbro do many of these before. It's got the blue transparent plastic for the blade, and then you've got the silver handle with the black lining for the grip. You even got a little hole so you could hook it onto a belt. The blade is not removable, unfortunately. Obviously, when we see Rey have it with this outfit, we only see the handle, she doesn't actually ignite it, and we see her handing it to Luke. But obviously, you can't do that with this since the blade's not removable. You can, however, give this to your other Rey figure, the first Rey figure Hasbro did, which is where we actually see her use the lightsaber. We also, for the first time, or at least I think the first time, get that unique blaster that we see Han Solo give to Rey in the movie. And this is done again with a kind of silver paint, metallic silver paint, and you've got a little bit of black on the handle. Not a whole lot of sculpting detail on this, but it is shaped like the blaster like we see in the movie. So again, this will be an accessory that I give to my first Rey figure, or more specifically my Black Series Rey figure with the more articulation. And this figure does come with a holster, a working holster, so you can put it in the holster like you see her. We do see her carrying this gun when she's on the planet, taking the lightsaber to Luke Skywalker. So they do include that holster, which is nice. And finally, you get the accessories for the build-a-weapon feature like we see with all the figures in this wave. It's actually two pieces. You get one, which is a staff-looking thing that has a little hole in the middle. It's done with a dark gray plastic, and you have a little bit of cream color here at the one side of the staff, and then the other piece looks like some kind of handle, again with the dark gray plastic with a little bit of green, and you just plug it in. Now without the other two figures in the wave, this one, there's not really much you can do with this. Some of the accessories are look like blasters or something, so you can use even if you don't have the other parts, but with this one I think you really need the other parts to use it. And you do get the little instruction sheet that shows you how to assemble all three parts once you have them. So for the figure itself, now I try not to judge these too harshly. These are $7 figures and they're made more for kids than adult collectors, but I do have a number of problems with this actual figure. So first of all, I don't really like the face sculpt on this one. It looks like they've sculpted some kind of like bags under her eyes, so it makes her look much older than she should be. Also with the paint on her eyes, they're almost a red color, so I don't know if she's having having some kind of Sith rage or something, but I don't like that. The skin tone is a bit pale as well. And then for the outfit, it's too much beige. There was definitely some gray on the outfit, on this Resistance fighter outfit, especially with the arm warmers, I'm pretty sure. And with this one, it's just all a beige color. So you've got the lighter beige on the shirt, and then the darker on the jacket, the arm warmers, and the pants, and then brown on the boots. But I definitely think there should be some gray mixed in on this outfit. Now the jacket is a separate piece, so if you want to, you can take it off. It's done with that kind of vinyl rubber material like we see with capes and stuff. And again, it is removable. It's kind of tight, but you can get it off there. And the figure, you know, looks okay. You know, she never takes it off in the movie, but you know, if you want to take it off, you can. She's got this sleeveless shirt with the arm warmers. The gun belt is sculpted and then painted. And then, as I said before, you do have that working holster, which I like. Articulation on the figure, unfortunately, is only 5 points, which we're accustomed to with this line. Head, you can look left and right. She actually does have a little bit of up and down movement with the head on this one. You can't do the arms out at all. You can just rotate the arms. There's no elbow joints, no wrist joints, no midsection joints. You can do the legs forward, and you can do the legs backwards. No knee articulation and no ankle articulation, and 2 peg holes on the bottom. So the figure stands just a hair under 3 1/4 inches tall. Here she is next to the 3 1/4 inch Black Series Rey figure, and they're about the same height. Finally, here she is next to some other Force Awakens figures from Hasbro. So here's the Black Series Finn figure, which is a little bit taller, and the regular series Force Awakens Han Solo figure, which is also a bit taller. BB-8, of course, and then the Kylo Ren Black Series figure, which is the tallest of the bunch. Okay, so that's my review. Overall, I've got to say this is only a so-so figure. As I mentioned before, I try not to judge these $7 figures that are really made more for kids too harshly, but I really don't like the red in the eyes or the wrinkles under the eyes on the face sculpt. I think that throws the look of the figure off. I also think it definitely needs some more gray in the costume. I do like the blaster and the lightsaber. That's probably the biggest draw for me to get this figure. I've wanted, you know, it's a unique looking blaster, and I wanted one for my Black Series Rey figure. So that's really the reason why I wanted to pick it up. The figure is out now. I definitely wouldn't recommend you spending a couple $100s on this figure. I don't think it's going to be that hard to find as time goes on. And honestly, the nicest thing I could say if you spend that much money on this figure is you've just got way too much money to spend. But we'll have a full gallery of images up at JediInsider.com. There's a link in the description below. And as always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And until next time, I'll catch you later.